All right. This guy to me is the biggest trail angel I've ever met on the Appalachian Trail. I hiked 2019, 2020. Don't know how he knew it, but he was there at both times, both years, when I needed him the most. He's probably the biggest trail angel I've met on the trail because he has been there for me bigger and better than anyone else. So I just am going to let him introduce him by his trail name, who he is, what he does. He hiked with everybody last year in 2019. He did the entire Appalachian Trail last year. He is kind of my soulmate when it comes to medical reasons. I'm not going to go into that. I don't even think he wants to go into that, but he is what I needed last year, this year, and I just gonna lead in and let him tell his own story, starting with his trail name.
I'm in game, otherwise known as Steve. Hiked the trail, like Rocky said, last year. Always been a dream of mine since, I don't know, the 1990s. Grew up around here in Roanoke, Virginia. So I've been hiking the trail around here since the 80s, I guess. Yeah, did a lot of hiking in the States and abroad. Came back here a few years ago and decided it was time. So yeah, did that last year. Met a lot of cool people. Was back here taking a few days off and went down to Troutville with my dad and my nephew. And you mind if I say the situation? We were going down there and doing some, going to do some trail magic. Had our beers and pizza and cokes and whatnot, you know. And drove up, and there was only one person in the park there at the crossover on the road, because I had forgotten that it was actually Troutville trail days that weekend. So most people probably had stopped 2 miles before. But yeah, there was Rocky, and she was having a pretty rough time, and sat down there, and you know, we had our dog Lila, Beagle, and if you guys know, Rocky's a big dog person, so I imagine Lila helped as much as any of us. But yeah, we hung out there and talked her through some tough times. Asked if she wanted to come into Roanoke, and she didn't that night, but the next day pulled her off the trail. Hung out here and helped her out for, you know, a couple of days there, and then this year as well. Just lucky enough to be able to do that, and I mean, I like getting out there, and of course now that I've done it and I've seen what people, you know, do for us, it feels good doing something for, you know, other hikers going through. And that's about it, I guess. Yeah.
Not about it. Sorry. The two hardest times on the trail, you showed up. 2019, a lot of people don't understand. It was not very long after Stronghold was murdered.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And all the crap I was going through with a stalker on the trail.
Mm-hmm.
You, your dad, and your nephew showed up, and
don't forget the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, yeah. Not just the Yellow Jackets, but like also, I fell at Klingman's Dome. It was.
Rocky was a mess.
Yeah, I think it was like $6,000 just in medical at that point when I met you. And so but medical didn't mean as much as like my mental at the point.
Yeah.
Like we had just gone through the craziness of the death on the trail, some stalker following me, and I was completely broken, which is completely, anyone that knows me just can't believe I've ever been broken. And I've been blessed enough to find your family. I have a lot of pictures of your family from last year. I have a bunch to upload this year from your family, and the stakes both years. I'll never forget your dad. His smile just was so inviting and brought me in. Your nephew, like brought me, you know, I am a hard cookie. Like a lot of people don't get it. Like they think I am just like easy peasy, you know.
Hmm.
I've had a rough life. I'm a hard cookie. I've dealt with a lot in my life, and you guys just kind of made me feel at ease, which
What?
is very rare.
What?
And so people don't understand how much trail magic does to a person's soul.
Hmm.
So when I hiked up here this year, and like I went from Doc Peppa's, which they were amazing. Don't get me wrong, they were amazing, but like you have always been kind of my angel. And I told your sister several times in the last few days, like, you're my angel. So when people talk about like trail magic, there's so many different ways of trail magic. You always made me feel comfortable. You always made me feel safe.
Glad.
So when you are in a situation that you're not feeling safe, to be pulled out of that situation, it's huge.
Hmm.
I've had a rough past couple of weeks again.
Sure. Yeah.
The day that Endgame picked me up, I lost my Great Dane.
Hmm.
He didn't care what I did. He was just there to support me.
Yeah.
That is the epitome of a trail angel. Like, people don't understand what trail angel means. They think that you have to do this, that, and the other, and you have to use this, and you got to spend. It's not about that. It's about your heart. It's about the fact that he helped heal my soul and get me back on the trail.
Glad I could help.
I'm glad you could help because you're amazing. Your family's amazing. Like you and your sister, her family, like I can't even tell people like how much you have done to keep me to where I'm at.
Sure.
The last 2 years, I would have never made it a foot past where I was that day,
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
you know? And I don't know this year that starting out, even with the help I had and everything else, like having an injury right after I got here and everything else, I don't think I would have made it again. And you know more than anyone else knows what I'm going through right now, like not just the dog, but other
Sure.
things in my life.
Sure. Sure.
And if it wasn't for your family and especially your support, you know? So when people talk about trail angels, this is the epitome of a trail angel. And he always looks down and acts all humble, but that's the epitome of a trail angel. A trail angel doesn't expect to get the kudos. A trail angel does what they do because they have been on the trail. They understand how hard it is,
Yeah, that's true.
you know?
Yeah.
So now I want you to tell your story of why you now wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail.
Okay. Well, like I said, I mean, I've lived here in Roanoke for since the '80s, I guess. Actually, since the '70s, and I did a lot of hiking in high school. And I actually remember a day. I always think back, going up to Apple Orchard Falls one day, and I must have been I was probably 17, and I must have been having a rough day. Probably had something to do with a girl or something, you know.
Yeah.
But sitting up there by myself and just sitting in the woods and being like, you know, just calm me down. That was when I realized that, okay, this is something that I mean, getting out in the woods really helps me. Anyway, went to school, met some people who had hiked the trail, you know, thought that sounds pretty cool. And in the early 90s, I started working for the newspaper here. And there was a girl here named Melissa Devon, who was a reporter, and she talked the paper into letting her hike the trail and remain a reporter, and you know, and talk about the trail, you know, write about the trail. So she did it. I read her stories, of course, and I mean, it's like that's way cool. And she immediately came back, and she immediately moved to Alaska, where, to my knowledge, she's still there. But really, I mean, that was an eye opener. And anyway, after that, I worked there at the paper. You know, you're not gonna hike the trail when you're working a full-time gig. You know, I moved to Korea. Pretty mountainous place there. Did a lot of hiking there. Started hiking all over the world, and it just finally started becoming a thing. Like, okay, when I go back, I'm gonna do the trail, you know.
Right.
And got back here 3 years ago. Didn't do it the first year. Knew I should be, kind of thing. After 1 year, I quit my job, and that basically gave me a chance to. I mean, that was in the winter, I guess. I started, you know, getting back in trail shape, hiking a lot, and it's like, this is the time to do it. I was 50 years old when I started, so you know, better get it done at some point. And yeah.
And y'all,
that was
he
it.
hiked 2019.
Yeah.
He,
Glad I did it
He's
last-
a through hiker 2019.
2019. Finished on August
Class
18th.
of 2019. I was actually in the class of 2019, so I know he hiked it.
Yeah.
I met him. He saved my rear end.
On my cooler from Able Bridge.
Yeah, but like I met him, and he's not just a through hiker. He is like got a great soul. Like, I have to admit, like, I don't meet many men like him in my life. He has one of the best souls I've met as a man.
Rocky's drinking her own beers right now. Okay.
Give me a break. No, you seriously do. Like, you have a great soul. Like, I have met a lot of people in my life. And there's those that drink their own Kool-Aid and those that live their truth. You live your truth, you don't drink your Kool-Aid. There's those that drink their Kool-Aid and, oh, I'm the best, you've never been that person.
Sure.
You're just the person that's always going to help others.
Thanks. Yeah,
It's the truth.
Hope so.
Like, no, seriously, like, anytime I've had an issue, you're the first person to jump, hey, what can I do to help? I don't get that, you know, because I'm older, and so most men want to help that 20-year-old girl, you know, and, you know, I'm just saying that you have a great soul. You don't care who it is, you just want to help.
Sure. Sure.
And I get a lot of, like, I watch a lot of people, oh, let me buy you this room, you know, and help you with the trail, and you're having a hard time, but you're 22 years old, but the person my age, they're kind of like, yeah, well, good luck with that. You're not that person.
No.
You're like, you're hiking the trail, let me help you.
Sure. Yeah.
You know? And that's what I meant by you're a real, true trail angel. There's a difference.
Sure.
There's a trail angel that has a hidden agenda. There's a trail angel that, like, they get social media. There's a trail angel, you know. A real, to me, trail angel is somebody who does something with zero wants, needs behind it. You're that person.
Thanks.
You are. You know you are, because you know how I am.
Sure. Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't play. I'm very black and white, but that's the truth. I constantly see over the years that I've been working with the Appalachian Trail, helping doing Trail Angel, helping with people on the trail, helping do whatever. I constantly see where, oh, well, you scratch my back with your social media, I'll scratch yours, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
You don't care about that.
Nope,
This
okay
is the
with
first
that.
year I'm actually doing social media, and I'm actually not even, you know, I'm doing the opposite where I'm not even highlighting myself. I don't even want to be on social media. I just want to highlight the people who formed me,
Sure.
which is you, your family, and others. And I wish that we all could get to that, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't probably have made it as far as I made it last year or
Lila,
this
no.
year,
That's the dog.
you know? So, is there anything else you want to add?
No, just I mean, obviously I'm glad to help you out.
I'm
and
so-
you know,
I am so blessed to have you as a friend.
And if I, you know, I mean, if I meet anybody out there, you know, I'll help them out to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, y'all, my friend here, Endgame, ran into Biscuit not too long ago, whose dog was bitten by a snake, and he took his entire day to make sure his dog was taken care of and Biscuit was taken care of. So, you know, it's not, he's just not my trail angel. Like, he is a true trail angel. It doesn't matter who you are. He's just a good person.
Thanks.
It's the truth.
Sure.
You know, it is what it is. I know you're kind of red and
Yeah.
embarrassed. But, you know, people like you need to be highlighted, you know? And that's why I'm doing the videos this year where I didn't want to do videos last year because I hate when people like, oh, look at me, you know? Even though, like, I was supposed to have a big year last year, I wasn't wanting anyone to look at me. So this year I'm like, look at the people who helped me. Look at the people I met along the way. Look at the people who formed me and made me a better person, which is you and your family.
Well, there's a lot of good people out there doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that was fast.
Pizza.
So, yep. Well, our dinner just showed up, so I just wanted to say, do you have anything else you want to say before I close out?
Hey, good luck to everybody out there. And I know it's a tough year, but be safe and you know, good luck to you all.
All right, everybody, this is Rocky Hike signing off, and I just want to say I hope you have a blessed day and hike on.